Hello and welcome to Clayview News Desk. We're reaching you live from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. I am Imefonukun. Recently, the federal government named Tukur Mamu, a Kaduna-based publisher, and 14 others as terrorism financiers in the country. Mamu has been in the custody of the Department of State Services, DSS, since September 2022. This is not the first time the government has listed individuals as terrorism financiers, leading many to wonder what difference this pronouncement will make. Earlier today, Clavy News Glory Atta played host to Dr. Hassan Sadiq, a security strategic expert, to analyze the issue.
Thank you, Ime. Today in the studio, we have Dr. Hassan Sadiq, a security strategic expert. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Indeed, it is no longer news that the federal government has named certain individuals as financiers of terrorism in the country. Just last week, 21 individuals, including Tukur Mamu, a Kaduna-based publisher, were named as terrorism financiers in the country. In 2022, during former President Muhammadu Buhari's government, we saw the same trend when the former Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, disclosed that the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit, NFIU, had compiled a list of 96 financiers of terrorism, although these names were not published. Similarly, last year, the Minister of Solid Minerals, Dele Alake, disclosed that certain wealthy individuals were behind illegal mining in the country, which is one of the major routes through which terrorism and insecurity is fueled. So now we have seen this pattern over the years, and this has had little influence on efforts to clamp down on insecurity ravaging the country. So, our viewers are worried. Will this recent move of naming terrorists bring significant success in ongoing efforts to tackle insecurity in the country?
Thank you very much for having me. I think it is one of the political moves that the current administration has taken, having the boldness to name those who are financing the terrorists. Because across other countries, when you have such things, you have to name them and list them. People should understand that it is not on the basis of party line that the government has able to come out to name those who, because background check investigation has been carried out by the security agency before such names were being enlisted. So it has now proved that the current administration has the political will to fight the insecurity that is ravaging the country, insurgency and all that. So it is a good thing that the government has named them. But again, it is not only about naming them. What next? We have now also that since the government has named the list of those who are involved, government should now take a rational actions to see deepening into more. Let us know the level of their involvement, prosecutions, and all that, so that it will be able to deter those who are also part of all this cartel in terms of financing criminal activities and insecurity and cutting off the line which they use and all that. It is on that the country can now say, okay, we are on the part of fighting the insecurity that has been on our neck for over the time.
Okay. What ways, what line of actions are you expecting from the government right now?
There's nothing because there's a terrorism act that we have in our laws. Now the government has come out and named them. It is the government now to start prosecuting those them, and the law will take its course and they will now face it. It's very simple because every country in the world has this terrorist law that if you are involved either financing or those who carry out such action directly, it is there. Now these people are the people that are now involved in terms of financing because it takes a lot to finance such activities. So now that these people have been listed among those who are financing the terrorists, then the government will now take them and now prosecute them so that the law can now take its course.
So, sir, while this process is ongoing, what are members of the public expected to do?
Whoever has link with them, we should know the time is up. That is number one. Any informations that further needed, any of the citizens who has it, you have to support the agency to get the informations. Then generally, people have now realized that yes, the government is ready to fight the insecurity in the country. So, which means we should now have a hope that it is up time for those who are involved in such illicit acts.
You've been listening to Dr. Hassan Sadiq, a security strategic expert. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
I'll now lead you to Imefonokon for the rest of the news. I am Gloria Atta.
The Gombe State Chairman of the New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, Rambi Ibrahim, has called on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and other policymakers to step up and act swiftly to reduce the current hardship in the land. Ibrahim, who made the call in Abuja studio of Clayview TV, noted that if hunger is not promptly addressed, it may spiral and have negative multiplier effect in the country. Clayview News correspondent has the details. Since the assumption of President Tinubu's administration, Nigeria has been battling with rising inflation, from food to forex crisis, economic hardship, and high cost of living occasioned by the removal of petrol subsidy, attracting protests in many parts of the country. Many citizens have taken to the streets to register their displeasure with Tinubu's style of leadership. Angry Nigerians have since protested in Niger, Oyo, Osun, among other states, asking the federal government to take decisive steps to bring the hardship to an end. The Gombe State Chairman of the New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, Rambi Ibrahim, who lent his voice on the burning issue, said no doubt the ravaging hunger in the land is making people angry at the government and its actions. In his words of advice for the government, Rambi said there is need for those in authority to act fast before things fully get out of hand.
Well, I think to the government need to step up and act swiftly. There is truly hunger in the land. And this hunger might build up to anger, might build up to resentment, might bet a number of things. So, like the revelation that we've just heard from the Senate President, 30 billion naira given to all the state governors in the 36 states of the Federation. I mean, you can just imagine what the impact it will create in terms of maybe getting palliatives to the average person with using that amount, maybe short time, and then work towards also creating a long-term solution to that. I mean, everybody is beginning to feel the pinch of this hunger that is so prevalent in the land. So for our policymakers, those who are in authority, it behoves on them to be fair, to be just, to look at this, to have a feeling. I mean, you are talking about people who voted you into power. People who have given you the opportunity to govern. And so you should look back and begin to take effort, the decisive effort that will really make people begin to feel the impact of governance. But if that is not done, of course, your guess is as good as mine as to what will happen, I mean, in Nigeria. Nobody is praying for that. And this is not something that somebody will now begin to say, God forbid. No, it is not God forbid that will solve the issue, but it is our conscious effort. The challenges we are having today is being taken care of. The excuses we keep hearing today is that because of the soaring value of the dollar against the naira, and that since we are a dependent economy, and that gives rise to some of the challenges we are seeing. Well, from between now and when subsidy was removed, that money that has been recouped, the resources that has been recouped as a result of the removal of subsidy, I think government should be act fast by using those resources to ensure that the average person in Nigeria, in Kauranamora, in Oguta, in Ogulore, or in every part of the country, feels the impact of governance and feels if we are all well taken care of, we could afford our basic needs. I don't think that we'll have this kind of agitation that we could feel that is building up.
Economic observers say the policies of the present administration have subjected many Nigerians to suffer untold economic hardship with soaring inflation, leaving many people struggling to afford their daily bread. The chairman, CEO, Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NIDCOM, Abike Dabire Erewa, has reiterated that Nigeria's economic prosperity could be achieved through a structured diaspora investment The NIDCOM boss, who emphasized this at a strategic meeting with an investment group, Optiva Capital, in Abuja, ordered that collaboration between Optiva Capital partners and NIDCOM signals a pivotal step towards harnessing potential of Nigeria's diaspora community, fostering sustainable economic growth, and strengthening ties between the diaspora and their homeland.
And investing in your country is even, it has a passionate appeal to it. It's your country, it's your home. It's not charity, we agree, but it's your home country. So we also agree with you that a population of 200 million is a huge market. So we encourage Nigerians, invest in your own country, because a lot of Nigerians are investing in other parts of the world. And we hope to work with you in that regard, and hopefully we can continue to encourage our brothers and sisters to think of home first. And even the Nigerian government, in talking about foreign direct investment, your first line of contact should be Nigerians in the diaspora. Diaspora direct investment should become, we're getting there, and we hope to build more on it, working with people like you, and we have a strong team that I think you start the engagement with right away.
Also speaking, Chief Executive Officer, CEO, Optiva Capital Partners, Jane Kemmemia, expressed satisfaction with NIDCOM's warm engagement, promising to strategically work with the Commission to double diaspora investment opportunities, fostering new business ventures for the diaspora to invest in their homeland. She reiterated that the best investment by the diaspora should be in their home country, with a population of over 200 million people.
And the reason is because of trust. The gap between the need to invest back home, whether it's at a corporate level, structured investment opportunities, is it in hospitality, is it in healthcare, is it in education, is it in manufacturing? How do we capture the rich and very wealthy diaspora that is looking into invest back home? But obviously the question of trust, structured investment, that's the space that Optiva Capital Partners would be looking into, working with NIDCOM on creating those investment vehicles that the Nigerians in diaspora can actually invest back home in. And what that means is national development, is really spurring areas and allocating resources into areas of the economy that really, and everywhere you look, really it's a
Optiva Capital Partners is a prominent wealth management firm specialized in investment advisory and insurance services. 3 students of the Nasarawa State University Kefi were feared dead on Friday in a stampede when the student looted rice given for distribution by the state government. The incident occurred at the Convocation Square, where the bags of rice were kept awaiting the arrival of Governor Abdullah Yusule for the commencement of distribution. According to a student witness, Moses Aja, the surging crowd of students waiting to enter the square overpowered the security personnel and broke in through the gate, thereby causing a stampede. He described the incident as very unfortunate. He said some students picked up bags of rice and ran to their hostels and other places of residence, even as the governor was yet arrived. At the time of filing this report, police officers were seen retrieving the palliatives from students. Recall that Sule recently embarked on a palliative initiative for students of tertiary institutions in the state. He has visited Federal University, Lafia, College of Education, Akwanka, among others. The Falconets of Nigeria late on Thursday night lost their African female soccer crown to host Black Princesses of Ghana 1-2 at the Cape Coast Sports Stadium via a psychological victory with mischievous and frustrating time-wasting tactics that was deliberately overlooked by referee Natasha Conan from Africoast. Severally, the Ghanaian goalkeeper Afi Amenyaku would lay on the top wasting time, and there was at least no verbal warning or card. She claimed injury and was treated on the field for about 7 minutes, and when the Nigerian captain protested to referee Natasha, the Nigerian captain was promptly flashed a yellow card, the third to Nigeria. An African president has found his son to be the most qualified person to head the military. This is the breaking news from Uganda, where President Yoweri Museveni, 79, has promoted his son, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, to the number one position in the military. The 48-year-old's position comes amid a major cabinet reshuffle in which 5 ministers were sacked. In power since 1986, Museveni has denied speculation that he is grooming his only son as his successor. General Kene Rukaba is a controversial figure, becoming increasingly involved in the political arena in breach of military protocols. In 2022, his father sacked him as commander of the Army's land forces after he made threats on Twitter, now known as X, to invade neighboring Kenya. President Museveni also issued an apology to Kenya's leader and asked Kenyans for forgiveness on behalf of his son. However, General Kene Rukaba's offending tweet has never been removed. He was promoted to general and retained as his father's advisor. He now replaces General Wilson Mabut, who is moving to head the Trade Ministry. Uganda is due to hold its next presidential election in early 2026. You can follow up on latest events and happenings around you via our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Clearview News Desk, or via our handle on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Clearview Online.